Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. We're back talking again about ideas that are important for you guys to continue to grow and to be strong. And we're going to continue with our discussion a little bit here with Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill's book. And I'm not, I showed the book the last time. I don't need to show it this time, but I left it downstairs. But I wanted to kind of talk about a chapter that we talk about that is called Thoughts Are Things. Now, this is the premise that Napoleon Hill goes on. Before I do that, go ahead and please subscribe, like, comment, and donate if you can. But thoughts are things. Now, why does that work? Let's look at this, okay? Let's look at this from a sense of retention, and let's look at this and how you can create your own positive world around you by really altering your thoughts. Now, there's things that you can control, and there's things that you cannot control. And all warriors know that. You can't control what's happening around you, but you can react to things that are happening around you. And this is where your thoughts make a difference. It's not what happens to you that makes the difference. It's how you react to that and behave. And that goes back to the thoughts that you have. And so Napoleon Hill gives lots of examples where people kind of gave up on things. They didn't want to go ahead and keep trying. In some cases, they missed a fortune because they were inches short of getting gold back in the gold rush days, those type of things, because they just gave up. They didn't think about that they could do it. And so their thoughts stopped them. And we call this self-fulfilling expectation. If you think you can do something, as Aristotle says, and you think you can't do something, you can. You are right either way. Because this is how the energy and the world around you reacts to you. And this is so important to realize. It's important that we look at who we are again. And I talked about this with the Fountain of Youth. If you look at your chakras and your energy system, every one of us has that energy. Now, we only see the physical manifestations like your head, your body, your arms, those type of things. We only see that. But inside, everything is made up of energy. And so you continue to be an energy force until that energy force transfers to something else. And so that's why your body stays good, to 70, 80, 90, in some cases 100, 120 years. Because you're continuing to keep that body to the point where the chakras, the energy is moving forward. That also affects the chakra up here in your brain. And the chakra continues to have to move and create things and do things up until last minute before you are passed away, or in this case, transferred to something else, right? So when you do that, you realize that it's all vibrations. It's all vibrations. And he talks about this as vibrations. And when we talk about thoughts, every thought that you put out there, or every thought you come into you, is a vibration, okay? And the thing about it is, as you look at vibrations, you're reaching out to those similar vibrations that are out there. People who have similar chakras that are basically having the same thoughts. So if I create a vibration that I want to make $1 million, I'm going to connect with other people eventually that are going to have those thoughts, right? And you're going to be able to kind of learn from that. Now, we don't look at it in those terms, but I'm kind of looking at more energy terms so you can kind of relate to this whole retention type of thing, all right? Obviously, you're listening to this channel because you have interest in retention and bettering your life. Those are the thoughts you're putting out there, okay? I've received those. Others have received those. And that's why we're doing videos, and that's why we're talking about these type of things, because we're aligned in thinking this is important. Someone who gets that thought out of the blue, like I did, I just looked for videos on retention when I started and basically saw the connection from people. But that thought has to vibrate out there, and I have to be able to get to that computer, and I have to be able to type in retention, and I look at things that are out there. Now, how did I think about those things? Well, I think that's the internal energy you have, that you want to better yourself. And so I've been trying to find ways of bettering myself. And so The Fountain of Youth was obviously one book. And then as I continued trying to figure out ways to get to that sixth right, in this case, the retention, it took a while. But the thought pattern has to be stronger and stronger and stronger. This is where the vibration comes in. Okay. So when you're sitting there and you're vibrating your thoughts, you can actually create things around you. How do we do that? Do they just magically appear? No. But you can create situations in which you can then create those things. Okay? Now, sometimes things can come out of the blue. It's almost like they call it deja vu, right? You're thinking about a person, and all of a sudden they call. Now, did that person send you a message before you thought about it? Who knows, right? But you're thinking about that, your deja vu. All of a sudden I see something, right? Or see something ahead of time. You have a premonition that something's happening. All these are thoughts and vibrations you're picking up. This is why meditation and prayer are very important in my mind, because you're sitting there getting all these messages. You have a quiet time and you're getting messages to think about things. I always like to get a pad of paper in the morning and put down and say, what goals am I going to try to achieve today? What are my plans for the day? What do I want to achieve? And think about those type of things as you're looking to, in this case, I'm looking to God to give me some ideas and advice, and those vibrations come to me. I get thoughts and things in my mind to do things. And you probably have had this happen. This happens to me a lot. I have a problem trying to solve, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, an answer comes to me. That's because you're vibrating out there. You want to find a solution to make more money, to do this, to figure out how to get this. Those type of things are things you're putting out there as messages. And when you think about those things, they become more tangible. And now you get ideas back and you can actually create things. This is how Edison and Marconi and all the great inventors of all time have come up, Einstein, have come up with their ideas. They came up with their ideas because they were able to realize that thoughts create things. You know, I'm up here as I'm talking about this and looking at a train set that I built over the last 10 years. It goes around the whole attic, okay? And it took a long time to build that, right? And I continue working on it as time goes on, right? But the idea is that it was an idea that I first started with, and now it's coming more to fruition as I'm working on it more. So thoughts become things because you can actually do things with them. And this is an important concept, because without goals, without a plan, without an idea what you want to do, you don't know where you're going to go with these ideas and thoughts. And one minute you may be going this way, next minute you're going this way, but you're off track. You're never going to be able to follow those patterns in a consistent way to actually achieve any kind of goal. And even if you achieve the goal, you're not sure that's where you want to be. So how does this play into retention, you may ask? When we look at retention is something that is one of these ideas that, again, you have. Now let's play this back a little bit. When you were small and born, you didn't think about any kind of releasing. You had enough of these vibrations come to you as you got older to realize, whether it was friends or media or anything like that, to tell you that the proper, best exercises to have and to work out was to release, or to find someone to have actually sex with. However, with sex, the problem with, especially being younger, you don't want to get somebody pregnant and have all these other issues, diseases that could happen. So an easy way, just go ahead and release. You're told this is very healthy and something you should be doing on a regular basis. That is a vibration thing that you got put into your brain, like many of us did, to say, okay, this is something that I'm going to kind of do, and this is something that makes me healthy as a man. Well, now, after all these years, in my mind, and reading and researching all this, I have found that other vibrations have come to me, realizing that is not true. And it's actually the opposite of that. The more you hold energy in, the more nutrients you hold, the healthier you become, the stronger you become. And if you add those things to other types of good behaviors and control, now you become a lot more of a successful person. You become the best person you can be. But again, because of all the years of listening to certain thoughts and vibrations about things, these are habit patterns you have to break. And that's why it's very difficult for, at the beginning of this, to break and go back and relapse, because you're always remembering those vibrations. And monk mode especially is very difficult because you're trying to eliminate any kind of thoughts of any of that kind of stuff. Okay? And that is very difficult. And I think I've made it to 29 days, so we're getting better with this, monk mode. But it's not easy. And as time goes on, you start to fill your mind with other things, and your vibrations now go to other things. But guys, human beings are meant to be creators. We are not meant to sit and just kind of waste our energy away, physically, literally, whatever you want to call it, in doing things that are unproductive. And what's the biggest unproductive thing you can do is release your energy. Now, if you're having a child and your purpose is to have a child, that's one thing. But if your purpose is just to release and your purpose is to not create, you're wasting a lot of your energy. And I can say that now when I'm 60, I waste a lot of my energy. But the good news is that you still have a lot of energy left as long as you start your journey today. And you can continue then looking at how to create things better around you. Right? So whenever I think about these type of things, I come up here and work on my train set. Okay? Continue working, using that energy in a positive way. Or I go to my comic book collection. All right? Or I go work out. I do different types of things to change that vibration. You're going to be hit with vibrations all the time, right? All you got to do is look at anything on YouTube and TikToks and all that kind of stuff and see a lot of crazy behaviors. But the thing is that you have to keep your mind with the right vibrations. And that's why we say, as Napoleon Hill says in his book, Think and Grow Rich, you can go ahead and say, all right, I'm interested in using this to better myself, my goals, the world around me. And that's the key type of thing. So again, another chapter from the book Think and Grow Rich. And Napoleon Hill's book is outstanding, and we talked about the sex transmutation last time. And this time the chapter is called Think, Thoughts Are Things. And it's one of the initial chapters in the book. And we'll keep kind of going through different chapters as we go along. So, but get that book, take a look at that book, and you can always give me some thoughts on the book as you read it through. All right, until next time, guys, battle on.